All right, everybody, we are back with another division preview. This time we are going to start with the LOC, starting up, and we are going to start with the Maple Leaf division. And starting with fifth place, we both have Krista and the Storm. Last year I had Storm going 9-4. You had her going 4-9, which is surprising because that is exactly what I have her going this year. And she went 10-3 last year, so it's definitely a dramatic fall for her. In my opinion, it is the draft class for her that really hurts her here. She only had 5 picks in the first 10, and she kept 3 running backs: Dobbins, Harris, and Henry. And then she went Lockett, Kirk, and Myers as the first, second, and third round picks. And to me, that hurts her. Like Lockett, to me, he's at the tail end of his career. I probably wouldn't have taken him over Brooks and Wilson, who, in my opinion, will be keepers for years to come. And I'm not really sold on her team. I mean, she has 3 good running backs. Dobbins is coming back from an injury, though. How much can he actually do for her? And that's why I gave her to have her going 4-9.
Yeah, it's crazy. I'm glad you looked that up last year, the 4-9 record. I have her going 4-9 as well this year. The draft grade, I kind of give her a C+ here because I actually liked Lockett, Kirk, and Myers, like when the talent that was available. And of course, you guys know me, every year I need wide receivers. And every time I was looking at one of those wide receivers, the draft, she would take them from me. So I like that part. But if you look at the rest of her draft, it looked like she forgot about her offense and started the draft her flex really late. And I think that's going to be a cause for concern and why I give her a 4-9 record as well.
Yeah, for sure. I have her going. I give her a C+ as well. Next up, we have, and it's in fourth place, we have Lucas and Green Lightning here. And in my opinion, the reason that I have Lucas and Green Lightning going, he has a whole bunch of third and fourth string running backs when he can have better IDPs. And I gave him a C just for that fact. He drafted a whole bunch of third and fourth string running backs where he could have made his team better, went with a whole bunch of good IDPs. And I have him go finishing 5-9, so just 1 win better than 5-8. My bad. I have him losing in Flex Week 14. So I'm 5-8, 1 win better than Storm, but he could have been a lot better if he went IDPs instead of trying to take third and fourth string running backs, in my opinion.
Yeah, I got Lucas going 7-6, and it just goes to talk about the strength of the Maple Leaf division this year. I mean, definitely the American division's been the talk of the town in recent history, but the Maple Leaf definitely showing their weight here. And I actually given him a B. I like the strategy of going with all the running backs. He does have like a lot of RB2s with Kelly, Pirine. Kyron Williams might actually be a name to watch out for as well. I heard in LA. And then he also got Odell in round 17, which I thought was a pretty good pick. I totally forgot about Odell. It's somebody that he could either trade later in the season or just hang on to him. So, yeah, I got him going 7-6. Maple Leaf division is going to be pretty good this year.
I agree with you, and I'm just going to move on to third place. In my opinion, the next 3 teams, they could finish anywhere from first to third, in my opinion. And we both have Billsy Bob finishing third, but like I said, I honestly think he could finish first. I have Billsy Bob going 9-4, and he does play those top 3 teams in that division, in my opinion. If one team has a good week versus another good team in that league, they can finish second, they can finish first. It's going to be an exciting division to watch, in my opinion. I think they give the American division a run for their money. I don't think that the entire division is as strong, but I think the top 3 teams in that division, if they were in the American division, would be pretty close to being the top 3 teams in the American division.
Yeah, I mean, I actually made the comment this year, it's exciting to see the development of owners like Danny and Billsy Bobs. I got him going 7-6, and due to the fact that this division's tough and he's going to have to play each of these teams twice. I love what he's done with the roster too. I mean, it all started with last year's draft, really getting Jamar Chase later in the first round. I liked how he got Julio Jones. He looks like he's just in it to win it and try to get a ring this year. And I think that might help Billsy Bobs try to win his first ever division. But I'm really hoping Billsy Bobs does get his first winning record ever in LOC history. And, you know, I gave him a decent draft grade here. I gave him a draft grade of a B.
I gave him a C minus just for the fact, and this is only for the fact that his first pick was Matthew Stafford. His second pick was Justin Fields. Why are you taking back-to-back quarterbacks when you could have had, you know, Hurst, Garrett Everett run right after that, Duvernay, who's looking like wide receiver 2, Palmer. He could have had better players and still had Stafford as your QB1. I know at that time I think Stafford might have been talking about he might be injured, but then taking 2 quarterbacks as your first 2 picks in the draft, in my opinion, give you a C minus.
Fair enough.
And then next up, in second place, we both have Milan in the 6th in here. And like I said, I have the 6th going 10-3, so one more win than Billsy Bob here. And a draft grade of, let me just take a quick look where I actually have the 6. I gave him a B+. The only question I had was Rodgers, overall, or any other position. Like rest of the draft, I thought was really great. I might not have taken Aaron Rodgers. I know he's the MVP candidate every year he's on the field, but then he's also not playing with Devontae Adams this year. So to me, he has lesser quality targets. And I don't know if I would have taken him where he did, but other than that, B+. I thought he had a great draft.
Yeah, I got the 6 going 9-4. I mean, the one concern, the glaring concern I have on his team now is Antonio Gibson, obviously. I give him a draft grade of an A-, and I think it's because he nailed his first 5 picks, to be honest. Brandon Cook's a great pick if you want to compete. Devontae Parker, Isaiah McKenzie, that guy I've heard nothing but good things, plus Higbee. So he really nailed those picks. But the reason why I gave him an A- is I'm just not a big fan of his IDP picks, guys like Jamin Davis. I heard his role could be reduced, and it's because of those question marks. I don't have the 6 winning the division. I got him going 9-4, though he does have a good team, and I thought Aaron Rodgers was a good pick.
See, in my opinion, I'm not a big fan of Elijah Mitchell. He's undrafted, running back. How much do they actually lean on him? He did have some injury concern last year. Also, you just had Antonio Gibson. There was some injury concern there as well, where he could have taken, instead of Aaron Rodgers, he could have taken Brian Robinson. He could have taken Algiers. He could have taken those other running backs. In my opinion, that would have bolstered his team. And then maybe instead of taking Higbee, he could have taken, Justin Fields. He could have taken one of the other Tannehill running quarterbacks, maybe even Matt Ryan, who went, I think, 5 rounds later, where he would have had a better running back, and then he could still have an on-par quarterback with Aaron Rodgers, going downhill, in my opinion, without Devontae Adams. And in first place, as everybody has probably figured out, we both have Chris and True North. I'll go ahead and let you start on this one.
Yeah, Chris and True North. I mean, part of the reason why I got him ranked so high is I just really do trust Chris's ownership. I got him going 11-2 this year. I think he's going to tear it up, and a big part of it is because of his wide receiver combo. I mean, Cooper Kupp, CeeDee Lamb doesn't get any better than that, and Devontae Smith, I'm hearing nothing but great things about, which contributes to why I got him going 11-2. As far as the draft goes, though, I'm only giving him a C+ here. I think he has some picks that might pay off. Jamal Williams, Wan'Dale Robinson, who he went earlier. Davis Price, though, again, I'm a big Jordan Mason fan, so I might be biased here. But I don't think Davis Price is going to have much of a role, and that's why I'm going to give him, a lower draft grade. But his team's awesome, and I think he's going to do really well in the Maple Leaf.
I also have him going 11-2. Honestly, looking at he took Cousins in the 3rd, which I have no problem with. Cousins is one of those underrated, fantasy quarterbacks. I think the offensive coordinator there, the new offensive coordinator, will be a pass first team. I think that's a great pick. Jamal Williams, I think, is a good backup. The only pick I didn't like was honestly the Cordell Patterson over George Pickens. I think George Pickens is going to be an amazing player. I mean, he's probably the wide receiver 1 in this class if he didn't have off-field issues. And let's be honest, he seems, offseason to be heading in the right direction, where he could have had a great 1 through 4 wide receivers. We take Patterson, who might be more doing more of the PPR back, more of the third down back, and playing wide receiver. This is the only pick I honestly didn't like of his. I gave him a let's actually take a quick look. So I gave him a B plus. I think if he would have taken Pickens, he would have definitely bumped up into the A's in my opinion. But I have him going 11-2, and I really can't question any of his picks. I think he has a great team. And then moving on into the international division, even though it's an international AL division, just because of PowerPoint. In the 5th place, we have a little difference here. You have Sueño, and I believe I have Too Good for a Name. And I'm going to go right into it. I have Too Good for a Name going 0-13. I have it winning Flex Week 14 and staying in the LOC. I have him beating BC Lions in Flex Week 14 and staying in the LOC. But I just don't like his team. Like I hate the Marlon Mack pick. To me, it was why. Like nothing good out of the entire offseason said, hey, go draft Marlon Mack. He was basically, everybody said, oh, he's probably not going to win. Damian Pierce, before the draft, was definitely the RB1 to take there. Taking Marlon Mack doesn't make any sense. However, with that said, I do like the Hayden Hurst pick. I think that is a good pick. I think he has potential there. Danny Gray has potential pick as well. I don't like the Mike Davis pick. When you have Boston Scott, who is looking like the RB2A with Miles Sanders' injury history, and then you have Hassan Haskins available as well. Like the Mike Davis pick just doesn't make any sense to me. And I gave him a B, but I just don't like his team at all. Like I think when Marlon Mack is in your top 3 running backs, you're not going to do much.
Yeah, those are all great points for really shitty. And, I also have the same commentary for him when I get to him. But I got Sueño. And the reason why I got Sueño, and it's close. I definitely got it close. I got Sueño going 3-10. And, a big part of it is just because, if you look beyond Lamar and Tyreek Hill, who does Sueño have that scares you? So first off, I give him a draft grade here of, interestingly enough, a B-, because based on what I saw here, he drafted for his future, not to be competitive. He drafted Treylon Burks early when all the reports were pretty bad on him. There was still all those top receivers available like Lockett, Kirk, Myers. And then Sky Moore as well. He went early, and Keontae Ingram, who again, I think is a guy you're not drafting for this year, you're drafting for the future. So Sueño could have one of those teams next year that could be really good. And, maybe that was part of his strategy after all, because if you think about it, we all know Stan and BC Lions is in serious trouble. You're obviously alluding to the fact that Owie Shitty's in even more trouble. Maybe that's a smart strategy by Sueño to just think about the future this year.
For sure, and I'm just going to go right to the next slide because I can talk about Sueño because we literally have them reversed and going 4th place. In my opinion, Treylon Burks has a very low floor, but also a very high ceiling. If the guy can put the skills together, he could be a great player, but he does have a low floor. So all your criticism there, I agree with. To me, the worst pick by Sueño is Sky Moore. When you have in a redraft league where you have Adam Thielen, Christian Kirk, DeAndre Hopkins, Lazard going after that, where even Jameson Williams, who in my opinion is a better long-term prospect than Sky Moore, being drafted after him. That's where I have the issue. However, I think Treylon Burks, the whole, he's a bust already. It's overblown. He played pretty good last week. I have no problem with that, even though when I did my draft. There, I gave actually, as you said, besides the Sky Moore, I gave him an A- in the draft. I think he had a good draft. I think he drafted for value. There was nothing outside of Sky Moore that's pretty shitty to me. I have Sueño going 2-11. Losing Flex Week 14, going 2-12. But to me, as you know how I feel about the national division, everybody should know how I feel about the international division. It's kind of weak this year, and like it was last year.
Yeah, I don't know if it's really weak. I think there's a couple weak teams for sure, and these two are the two teams. And I got Luke going 4-9. Big part of it is, again, when I look at his lineup, the only guys I'm really high on right now is maybe Derek Carr. I mean, Debo's Debo. Michael Thomas possibly. But other than that, the rest of the lineup doesn't really scare me all that much. And you also alluded to the fact about the draft, and I agree with you. I give him an instant C with that Marlon Mack pick. I think Zamir White, I mean, again, early, I think you're buying into the pregame hype. He played like one game and he played well. The rest of the games, he was mediocre. I do actually kind of like the Mike Davis pick because it does sound like he's going to get most of the carries for Baltimore early on until Dobbins comes back. So that one's actually not a bad pick. But I got it being a long year for OE Shitty, and that's why he is OE Shitty.
I agree. Next up, we have Young Wolf. He didn't send me, so he didn't send me any his image, or at least didn't have his logo. So he gets the baby wolf image logo here. I have him going 5-8. However, I think if he makes a few good trades, and that's the key word, good trades in his favor, he can actually probably even bump up into second place, in my opinion. I'm going 5-8. I didn't really see anything too wrong with his draft. I'm just actually pulling up. He has solid draft all around. I didn't really. There's nothing to call out. Like I said before, I think a lot of teams this year had really good drafts. In my opinion, there might be one or two picks that are like, hey, we're going to call it out. But then again, to me, that just might be nitpicking. Like even Young Wolf, I'm going 5-8. His draft wasn't too bad. I'll pass it over to you.
Yeah, I got Young Wolf going 5-8, and I think he has to make a decision on, like you said, does he trade and maybe win a division or compete for the division, or does he use some of these assets that he did get in this draft to sell and still have obviously a way better team than BC Lions, and look at next year as being really competitive in that international division. The only criticism I have of Young Wolf's draft is, I see that he went 4 offensive players and then he went basically he went IDPs like for the next 4 picks. And when I compare that to other teams that, I see other teams use like maybe 7, 8 offensive players first in some instances before they went defense. So I thought he just went defense a bit early. But I do like Alan Lazard and Daryl Henderson. I think they're having roles in camp, and Alec Pierce has heard nothing but good things. 5-8 for Young Wolf, and I think he's a good addition, and I'm glad he's in the international division to bring that competition.
I agree. He was 4 of the next 5 picks after he took Bellinger that he went IDPs. I agree with you. If you remember, 2-3 years ago, your philosophy was if you take IDPs in the middle round, your probably team's just as good. And I still live by that philosophy of yours from then. But I agree. We might take him just a little too early. Moving on to second place, we both have Sabatic with Spartans. I'm going to let you start here.
Well, I think Duchamp always finds a way to be competitive, and I got him going 9-4. I think he's going to make some serious waves. I think he is going to compete with the big boys in the American division, in my mind. And I'm giving him a draft grade of an A. I think he nailed Jalen Hurts. Again, I thought Susie probably should have went Hurts at 5. I mocked Hurts to go at 8 for Duchamp, and guess what? He went at 8. I actually really liked the Adam Thielen pick. I thought that was a great pick as well. He also went with some youth at wide receiver with David Bell and Jalen Tolbert. Whether or not they're going to work out, we don't know. But also Zach Moss, I thought was a good pick, as well as Travis Homer. So Duchamp, watch out for him. 9-4 is where I got him.
I have him going 7-6. I gave him a B+. Everybody should know how I feel about Jalen Hurts, even though I am wearing my Philadelphia Eagles hat right now. To me, taking Hurts when RBs are both timeshare RBs, so both his running backs are in timeshares. In my opinion, however you feel, I think it would have been better to go Wilson or Burks. And then he took Tunyon when Tunyon really had one good year. One good year. He only had 3 games yet last year that had over 10 fantasy points when Hurts, Everett, Albert O went after taking Tunyon, in my opinion. And that's why I give him a B+. I think taking a quarterback in the first round was just ridiculous, in my opinion. Doesn't make any sense when you have to start 3 running backs, 3 wide receivers, 3 flex, 2 tight ends. You start 1 quarterback. And this is not a quarterback league where you get 9 points for a rushing touchdown. Taking a quarterback in the first round is just ridiculous. And that's why I gave him a B+. And first place, last but not least, one of my favorite owners, we do have Susie here. And the reason why I have Susie, I gave her a B+. The reason it's not an A, she had 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers, and she skipped over Drake London for James Cook, who, in my opinion, the point difference, in my opinion, is just going to be ridiculous. Drake London, he's wide receiver 1. He'll be wide receiver 1 even when what's the fact I'm actually drawing a blank on who the guy suspended is comes back. The dude's 28 years old. He's going to come back when he's 29. Plays maybe 1 or 2 more years. Drake London's the pick there. Going over Drake London, in my opinion, is ridiculous when her running backs were Rashad Penny, I believe, was one of her running backs. Go Drake London, get the points, and don't go James Cook because you're basically drafting Rashad Penny again.
Yeah, I give it her a B+ as well. I criticized the pick as well. I think it was either London or Hurts for me. So I think that pick was questionable, but the rest of the draft I thought was good. I like the picks of Landry, Hooper, and Njoku. I think when you look at her lineup, it's pretty solid top to bottom, and that's usually the foundation of a good draft. I got her record at 9-4, so right there with Dushan, and setting up probably a flex matchup for the international division money.
I ever go 10-3.